What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioS3 Raw TV. Today we're going to talk a little bit about something that I think is important, especially if you're starting out. Doesn't matter whether you're 40 years old, a teenager, but if you are a teenager, listen to what I'm about to tell you. Okay, this is important for later on down the road. It may seem like lame at the time, and this may not be something that you do now, but if you do this, it'll pay off later on. Now, I got a few comments and questions on the comment section, but I get emails regularly asking me about what I do for my calf training. Now, currently, I don't do a whole lot of calf training, okay? And partially that is because when I squat and leg press and stuff, it activates my calf enough. It's just genetics. It has nothing to do with a technique I'm doing when I'm squatting or leg pressing, which actually I haven't been able to squat now for coming up on almost 2 months because I hurt my back doing barbell rows. So I've been doing pretty much all leg presses for the last almost 2 months. And the reason why I'm able to do that now is because when I was a teenager at 16 years old, 15, I think I walked in the gym when I was 15. I didn't have a license yet. So 15 years old. And I first started training, I was taught to train forearms, neck, traps, and calves. Okay, those are body parts. And hamstrings. Those are body parts that not everybody trains. So, you know, as a teenager, I just figured, okay, this is on the program, this is what we do. And me and my workout partner, Donnie, that's what we do. We train our calves, we train our hamstrings. Now, it's no surprise that we developed even physiques, especially for teenagers, because we weren't skipping the things that everyone else was skipping. We were doing the things we were supposed to do. We didn't really know we were doing the things we were supposed to do. We were just doing what we were told. And that paid dividends in the long run to where many people now ask, you know, what do you do for forearms? Well, I have 18.5-inch forearms. You can see my hand compared to my forearm. Even though it's flexed, I mean, even if I let it go, you can see the size of my forearm, front to back. I do have tiny wrists, which make it look bigger, but I trained the hell out of them when I was younger. People, oh, traps, you know, traps, what do you do for traps? I'll train them now, like maybe 90-pound dumbbell shrugs. For like, a month ago, before I hurt my back, 2 months ago before I hurt my back, I was doing 500-pound shrugs again, just because I felt good, but my traps didn't grow anymore. They just maintained their size. So it's from training that, you know, that basic training that you start when you're a kid that develops and follows over. And if you're doing that stuff when you're younger, when you start out, those body parts are going to develop along the way. Because what happens usually is somebody gets in there and they're bench pressing, they're curling, they're doing their squats, they're probably skipping hamstrings because hamstrings suck to train, and they develop an uneven physique. Now they have to bring these quote-unquote bad body parts up when they weren't training in the beginning to begin with. Now it's a race against time to try to bring up that lagging body part, and they're trying all kinds of shock sets and synthol and all this shit to get the body part up to par when they should have just been training it from the beginning. So, you know, let it be known that if you're training these from the beginning, you're not going to have that problem later on. And aesthetically, when I wear shorts and walk around, everybody notices my calves. You know, when I wear a short sleeve shirt, people notice my forearms. Doesn't matter what I wear, people notice my traps. Those are the muscles that show the power of a physique, okay? You know, big chest is great. Big arms is great. Those are the beach muscles. But there's a distinct difference when you see someone walking down the beach with a big chest and big arms and little stick legs walking down the beach, or the guy that's got the big calves, the big traps, you know, the big forearms, all the body parts are, you know, together in one kind of flowing, symmetrical physique. They look much more impressive, much more powerful, probably because they are more powerful because they've been doing these other body parts. So I also got a question as to how big my calves are. Well, I don't know because I don't tape them. So what I do is I get this little myo tape, which is, you know, what we use for training. And what I'm going to do now is tape my calf so you guys can see where my calf is at. So let's wrap this thing around. All right. So make sure this thing's straight so you guys don't call me on, oh, it's on the wrong thing, whatever, whatever. All right. Once you get it plugged in. Now, here's where my finger is. I'm going to undo this tape. That's where my finger is. Okay, 18. Just a little bit above 18 is where my calves are. Okay, so my calves are pretty much the same size as my neck and my forearms. And I train all of them equally, which maybe once a week I'll get calf training in with trap training and forearm training. And recently I've been starting to use those fat grips, these blue foam things that attach to the bar that activate the forearms more and the bicep more, but take the wrist out of it and out of a curl. which I've used them for a couple workouts, and I got to tell you, honestly, I really feel the things. You have to lighten up on the weight, but these are something new that, I'm going to be experimenting with over the next couple of weeks or months to see how well they work. As far as the calf and trap training go, heavy. As heavy as you can, 10 to 12 reps. It's not 50 reps, 30 reps, shock sets for calves. You can shock so many reps, it'd be ridiculous in a day, 500 reps. Your calves are not going to give a shit, okay? What you need to do is hit those things with heavy weight and overload them in a different way than they're used to. They're used to walking every day, so they do hundreds and thousands of reps a week. Why should they possibly grow after 15 or 20 reps in the gym that you're putting on it? It doesn't give it any reason to grow. The muscle doesn't have any stimulus there to grow. But if you're piling on 400 or 500 pounds and you're doing 10 to 12 reps, that's a new stimulus for your calves to grow. Now, one of the things that I do like to do is I hate the calf machines, like the regular calf machines. I hate these things. The seated one, the way the piece moves is like in an arc. It's not straight up and down. So if you're trying to move your calf, you're moving it like in an arc. So what I'll do is I'll just avoid the seated most of the time all the way together. And if you're going to the standing calf raises in a regular machine, these things have like a 600-pound weight stack on it, and you get up there and do like 30 reps with it. So obviously it's not 600 pounds. So what I do is I go to the Smith machine, set the pins on the Smith machine so that I can't get crushed, lock the Smith in, and start piling on the weights. Now, I'll go up to maybe 5 plates on each side, which is 495 pounds, and I'll do 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps like that. And when I'm done with that, it hurts. I mean, you can feel it in your calf fibers, deep in the calf fibers. Nothing crazy, no, crazy shock sets, drop sets, giant sets, all that stuff. Just straightforward training, get that muscle to respond, and get out of the gym and let it grow. So there's a little bit of calf advice, and we're going to be doing some forearm and trap stuff coming up so that you guys can, you younger guys who have not started training this stuff yet, get on it now. BioStraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below. www.biostraining.com is the blog, and we're out. Go train your calves.